must rise above the fray of petty and lawless politics and chart a course towards a brighter, more inclusive future for our party and all Guyanese. Together, we can rebuild the mighty PNCR and our nation, brick by brick, until we stand as a tall, permanent beacon of hope and possibility from generation to generation. I call on our members and supporters to come on this journey with me, to regroup, refocus, and rebuild as we work to make our party stronger than ever. Join me, please, as we work together to unite the PNCR and rally the coalition to victory in 2025. Thank you very much.
Forde. We will now take the questions. Please identify yourself.
Svetlana Marshall from Youth Force. Mr. Forde, when compared to the results of the last Congress, do you think you would have done enough work to command the support, or will be able to do enough on the ground to command the support of the members of the PNCR? And secondly, Mr. Norton is indicating that he will be re-elected leader of the PNCR, that the party would not allow inexperience to lead them. Do you think that you have the experience to take the party forward and to win the leadership of the party? And he would have also said that his track record is, in a sense, without blemish. He's not a corrupt individual. Could you say the same about yourself to go against the PDP? Those are my first three questions.
Thank you very much, Svetlana. I believe that I have done the work that is required. I've traveled throughout the length and breadth of Guyana. I've interfaced with our supporters, and I believe that they have expressed their interest and confidence in seeing me as the leader of the party. On the question of experience, I believe that I bring to bear sufficient and adequate experience, which will be able to impact positively on moving the party forward. I'm aware that the leader said that he's experienced and the party would not want to be placed into the hands of an inexperienced person. I certainly agree with him, but I believe that my track record in and out of politics demonstrates sufficient experience that I'll be able to bring to bear to the task at hand. I believe that equally that my track record in terms of integrity is unblemished. In politics, people make all sorts of allegations against you, but I believe that I have addressed each and every sort of allegation that comes up in relation to me.
Let's just say that today is the day after general elections and we are addressing President Forde. What areas of governance would President Forde practice?
You have gone a very far way, Travis. But I'll point out to you a number of areas of concern. I believe that, firstly, the question that bothers the Guyanese people the most is the oil sector and its impact on their lives. I believe that we initially would have to put in place plans and programs that will see transfer of resources into the lives and hands and pockets of the Guyanese people. I believe the system of governance needs to be changed. We need to review the constitution and there are a whole range of other issues. The cost of living, the government will certainly not do anything between now and the next elections to solve that situation. So I believe that the emphasis in any party that wins the next election should be one of focusing on the people and the welfare.
Mr. Forde Kirkland, newsroom. Winning leadership of the party seems more or less your short term. A lot of the question that Travis asked. Is your long-term goal to also become a leader of the EP in coalition in 2020?
Those are real issues. I believe that there are issues which will have to be considered in the wider frame of the party, but certainly I'm not making myself unavailable for those positions. I believe that in a spirit of compromise and what is best in the interest of the party, I will do whatever is in the best interest of it.
Serve at an executive level in the party. Could you say what is the confidence or surety that the Congress will be held by office?
Well, certainly the leader of the party, Mr. Aubrey Compton Norton, indicated that it will be held by the 31st of August this year. So I rest on the words that he provided.
Mr. Forde, time and again, at whenever Congress is held, you can hear about uniting the party from each and every leader. You're speaking about regrouping, which is the exact same. It's time for us to unite. What is the state of affairs of the party? Is it fractured? Is it highly divided? That would lead you to establish your own campaign as against one that supports Mr. Norton.
I believe that every member of the party is entitled to their own view. I believe that Mr. Norton's work that he has done in the party stands as a testament of what he believes is in the best interest of the party. As a member of the party, I believe that I have a different perspective, which I've outlined today, a different vision in terms of its implementation and how it will impact people. I believe that in rolling that out, it will inure to the benefit of the party. My position is not necessarily one I know the media would like the general confrontational issue, to put it out, Forde runs against Norton, but I'm running here for the party as a priority. Whoever enters the race, I hope they understand that we're running ultimate to see the best person, the best program emerge for the People's National Congress.
So should you win the leadership, it would be a thought there for
Mr.
Mr. Norton.
Norton is a senior and distinguished member of the party. Under any leader, apart from myself, if I win, any other leader would be foolish to seek to exclude Mr. Norton from the wealth that he brings to the party.
You all the position taken by Mr. Norton that the leadership of whoever wins the leadership of the party automatically becomes the presidential candidate. I know what you said earlier in respect to constructed, but I just want to have your understanding of how that system works.
I personally believe that we must have separate races. We must have a race for the leadership of the party. We must have a race for the presidential candidate of the party. I believe the participation of the membership in each and every race or contest will only result in a more dynamic and enthused party. So that is my view.
This would be a new approach.
It's not a new approach. It has happened before. In 2010, 2009, we had a Congress where at the time the leader was Mr. Corbyn. He was elected as the leader. Then we had a primary system in which Mr. Granger was emerged as the presidential candidate. Later went on to become the president of the party. So this is not a new idea that is being thrown out here. It is something that the party has implemented quite successfully.
Support not being confrontational, but at the last leadership race, you did not support supported Mr. Hart. And now you will likely be running against Mr. Norton. Can we hear directly from you? What are your views on this?
I believe when you want me to say about my views on him in what way? I believe that, as I said before, less than 5 minutes ago, I believe Mr. Norton is a distinguished and exemplary member of our party. I have nothing ill to say about him. His views of the ideas that we may disagree on, I've outlined simply just a moment ago, the whole issue of the primary. Certainly in the course of an active and vibrant campaign, differences will emerge, but whatever differences emerge is not from one of hatred or dislike, it's from a different philosophical position from which we stand.
You spoke about the upcoming elections and how the party needs to improve in order to regain regain power, right? In fact, when APNU, whether it's APNU, ITM, that one election, is this something that you're going to pursue aggressively to ensure that in a similar way ahead of that election, we have the two major or the other opposition, the parties in the opposition coming together to form a united force to contest against
I believe so. That is my view. I believe that the coalition must be expanded to include all political parties that are interested in seeing the back of the PPP. I believe that we must be capable of embracing all the different political parties, minor political parties, people in civil society who may be interested in joining. I believe that we need to establish once again a vibrant and dynamic coalition.
You also touched on the importance of having a clean water. Is it your intention that this should be in place, or this perception of what a clean water should be in place, and what is that should be in place ahead of the next election? And if so, how is it you're going to pursue that? In light of what you said, there may be need for constitutional reform to have this particular issue addressed to kind of create more people like that. With the exception of that, that are required.
I believe that on the question of the voters list, a number of things need to start happening. One, the party need to engage civil society more and the international community in making it clear to them what is our position. You know what is our position on the clean voters list. I don't need to recapitulate that. But in terms of the voters list and the need for the clean voters list, we also need to engage GCOM. We also need to engage GCOM. We need to address GCOM. I believe that whilst we have the issue of constitutional reform, there are a number of measures, administrative measures, which GCOM can put in place immediately to address the use and abuse of persons on the list, persons who are resident abroad. There are a number of mechanisms that have been put in place. So the party needs to heighten its call and its robustness in its demand for a clean voters list.
Do you think that biometrics under our current electoral law are catered for? And do you think that is one of the options which ought to be considered by GCOM ahead of the election?
Certainly, I believe biometrics must be a serious consideration. I believe that it is not catered for under our law, but it's nothing that necessarily demands a constitutional reform process. A willing government with the opposition could pass the necessary legislation, which will put in place a biometric system. It will support GCOM's ability to ensure there's an accountable and credible electoral process.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I noticed Savannah and Clark that have dominated us this morning. We're grateful. Is there anyone else who would like to ask a question?
Yes, Bob is here from 104.1. Board, congratulations on your step. But in going forward, let's assume you become the leader of would you be open to have any other person, as you mentioned, civil society and the coalition and all of that, would you be open to the facilitation of an individual outside of yourself or anyone outside of the party who happens to be a part of the coalition to emerge as president?
I believe that I have outlined a process of a primary. I believe that no one should be anointed as the presidential candidate of the People's National Congress reform. Whoever it is, in or out of the party, a member or not, must go through the primary process. They must seek and obtain the approval and the blessing of the party. So I don't necessarily believe that we should just pluck someone and parachute them into the office of presidential candidate. I hope I've answered the question.
No, not directly. My thing is, would you be open, first of all, would your request or demand would be that that person, whoever becomes or wants to be part of the process, must be a member of the party, or that person would come from civil society? Because if it's the party and there's a process of elimination by means of whatever process is utilized, would it be that whoever gives an indication that they'd like to run for the presidency, would that person must be a member of, let's say, the coalition?
I understand.
If you're going as a coalition, would that person must emerge from the coalition, or someone from, the public or civil society decides, look, I would like to take the shot at the presidency? Should that person must be a member of the party, or by consensus or by elimination, they emerge as the nominee?
I thought I answered it, but I'll be more clear. About 10 to 14 years ago, the People's National Congress reform under the leadership, I believe, of Mr. Corbyn had in fact passed a motion at General Council indicating that the presidential candidate, at that time I believe was for the PNC, need not be a member of the party. But I'm speaking about the participation and the person obtaining approval for that office. I believe they must go through a process of a primary. Therefore, based on the existing precedent set by General Council, they'll ultimately, in my opinion, must submit to the processes of the party of a primary.
Thank you very much.
Just one last question.
Mr. Forde, final question.
Yes, sir. Could you just tell us, provide some history on your work in the party when you entered? Sir, this is very history.
Well, I've been associated with the People's National Congress reform as an adult since 1997. I've worked with Mr. McKay, and I've developed a very close relationship with Mr. Hoyt as a lawyer. I was tutored by Mr. Hoyt, guided by him in political matters. I've always remained close to the party. As most families are, in Guyana, we either, at the time, PNC or PPP. My family has always been supporters of the People's National Congress reform, but PNC back then. I, as a child, participated in activities with my mother and family in relation to the party. I have been involved in the party, in its work. Around 2000 or 2002, I recall, Mr. Hoyt appointed me as a very young man, then 23 or 24 years old, to the CEC as a ex officio member. So I've been involved in the party. I formally became a member of the party many years later. I'm currently on the Central Executive of the party. I sit in National Assembly as the Shadow Attorney General.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We look forward to your support as we go on in this process.